Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Service Station Operations Learnership. My name is Graham Ward, and I'll be taking you through this unit standard here, which is, let's go to it now. It is Understand and Deal with HIV/AIDS, unit standard number 12463, and it's worth 3 credits. So let's go straight into it. We're going to deal with the learner workbook first, and don't forget to, when you're going through this learner workbook, go through it and use black pen only, please, and don't use Tipp-Ex. Quite important that. So let's just bring that up. Right, there's the topics that are covered over this unit standard here. You'll need to get 80% in order to be found competent or to go to the summative assignment. And let's go straight into it now. So they say, name the 5 stages of HIV which progress to AIDS. Okay, and what is the window period? So let's go into the learner guide. Stages, FSTAGES. Let's go there. Name the 5 stages. Okay, fine, let's go there. All right. How do we get to this answer here? Maybe it's just above there. Hold on. There we go. There's the 5 stages there. The initial infection, the window period, which is a 12-week period when HIV cannot be detected, the asymptomatic HIV infection, symptomatic infection, and finally you get HIV/AIDS, which you then need to take medication to control. And the window period is a 12-week period where the laboratory cannot pick up that you're HIV positive. So that's that first question there. Write down your thoughts, feelings, and concern about HIV. Here, you can just have your own thoughts. Your thoughts might be it's a death-threatening disease. It debilitates people. It's generally conducted through unprotected sex or semen, or it reduces productivity in the workplace. And ultimately is a life-threatening disease. So you might just put your feelings and thoughts down about HIV/AIDS there. What is HIV? Then you need to give a definition of HIV here. Let's go here. Let's just see. Let's just go to it right here. Definition. I'm just going to this one. Definition. FDEFIN. I'm just trying to get this one for you guys. There's AIDS, HIV. Let's get one for HIV. There we go. HIV stands for the human immunodeficiency virus. There it is there. Okay, so that's the definition of HIV. What is the definition of AIDS? Okay, you can actually go there now. AIDS, which stands for acquired immune syndrome, is the final stage of HIV. Okay, quite nice and easy, that one. How does HIV make you sick? Let's have a look over here. It destroys your immune system. That's what it does. And that's actually probably on the answer over here. It's not really a single disease. Combination of illnesses that cause immune system to break down. And so there's the answer there. It is not a single disease, but rather a combination of different illnesses by the immune system's total breakdown and inability to protect the body against opportunistic infections, such as thrush, tuberculosis, etc. So there's the answer to that one there. Okay, now you need to make a poster here, which is basically how is it transmitted from a child to mother. So you might have a child being born as a picture over here. You might have the child being suckled by its mother on its breast here, and you can use descriptive words as well. And then the child getting HIV/AIDS through suckling of milk from its mother. So a little poster here will do, just a sort of circular way of how it goes through. Sexually transmitted diseases, let's go and look at those. Sorry, sexually. Let's have a look here. There they are there. So a sexually transmitted disease, STD, is any sickness passed from one person to another during sex. And give 3 examples like gonorrhea, syphilis, and herpes. Okay, so do that there. Gonorrhea, let's just type syphilis and herpes. So that's what they are. What is the common way in which HIV is transmitted? It's transmitted through, it could be through blood transfusions, through mostly it's commonly transmitted through unprotected sex. In other words, semen into the person's body. Listen, discuss 3 other ways in which HIV can be transmitted. Let's go and have a look at another 3 ways. Let's look up the word transmitted. Let's have a keep going. Let's have a look here. Okay, that was the syphilis one. Let's just check that question again over here. 3 other ways. So you can get it through a blood transfusion, sexually transmitted through sex, unsafe or unprotected sex, and you can get it through breastfeeding or a blood transfusion. That's the answers there for that one. Okay. We're now going to do about who's responsible for having a condom, man or woman. Then you just want to answer these questions. What are your feelings about this? It's not a right or wrong answer. So try and use these topics here that would help you to discuss this for 14 marks. Okay. And you can put your particular feeling here as to who should be carrying a condom or who it might be, the man or the woman. Why do you think AIDS is spreading so fast? It's largely because of a lack of education, and people are not protecting themselves during sex. They're not using a condom. Okay. So that's the most common reasons why AIDS is spreading so fast: a lack of education and unprotected sex. Why should you use a condom? A condom is preventing your semen from entering into a person or the person's semen entering into you. And what must you remember when using a condom? It must be a new condom. You must not reuse a condom. Let's just see if there's anything else here. If condom, let's have a look. Can you get HIV? Let's see. A condom stops the sperm and vaginal juices entering each other's bodies. Okay. And HIV cannot move from one person to the other. And that's pretty much the answer to that question there. And what must you remember? Don't use a used condom. Use a new condom each time. This form is a misunderstanding about the transmission of AIDS. Let's have a look at the misunderstandings. Control F, MIS. No, let's go and get the full word in there. MISUND. UNDE, misunderstandings. Let's try and just search for this. Just trying to help you here. Well, I can't seem to find it. Transmission, let's look for the transmission. Let's just check the question again here. Sorry about this. Misunderstanding transmission, okay. Looking over here, no. Okay, we don't want those. Okay, here we go, from mother to child. There's the, so misunderstandings that okay, the misunderstandings that you can get it through sharing, SHARING, sharing utensils. Okay, you cannot get HIV from kissing, from sharing eating utensils, eating food prepared by, these are the misunderstandings. Okay, there they are there. Okay, you can list 4 of them. How does this affect your workplace? Well, the workplace is affected because somebody with HIV/AIDS or HIV positive or with AIDS, their productivity, they become weaker, and they need to get jobs which are less stressful on the body. Okay. Also, productivity reduces in the workplace. That's pretty much the 2 answers to that. Okay. Discuss in your groups the possible problems that a worker with HIV/AIDS can encounter. Well, let's just have a look at that. Let's see if the learner guide has something there. F problems. Okay, the person with HIV/AIDS becomes very weak, becomes sick, losing weight, diarrhea, sores in the mouth, coughs, pneumonia, TB, brain and nerve disease, swelling, fevers, and sores. That's the answer to that question there. Okay. What could you do to create a caring situation in the workplace? Let's see what we can do here. Let's have a look. Okay. Select a person or people who will take responsibility and accountable for their action. Clearly define each action. The company can decide on a budget to handle the education of HIV/AIDS. Set a realistic and suitable time plan to implement the budget, and do it. Do the actual training of people in your workplace, and monitor and evaluate the strategy for overall effectiveness on an ongoing basis. So that's pretty much what you're looking at there when you're writing a strategy and what can be done. Okay, that would be creating a care. Also, caring would be that people with HIV/AIDS may be given easier jobs to do, less stressful jobs, and that they're not ridiculed in the workplace. Okay, how can employers? Let's have a look at what employers can do here. We've just seen that there, but let's have a look again. Most employees, to avoid legal problems in the workplace, employers and employees act in accordance. You need to. So here's the information here. We need to act humanely with people with HIV/AIDS. Do not ridicule them. Try to create a strategy as a company. Okay. And there's the proactive role here that can be done. You know, generally speaking, don't discriminate against these individuals. They're still human beings. It's just unfortunate that they have HIV/AIDS. Okay. Okay, there's two laws that deal with HIV/AIDS. We'll get to those in a second. Let's have a look here. What do you understand about prevention and wellness programs? Well, you can write your own here. Prevention programs are about educating employees about HIV/AIDS, making condoms available to employees. That can be done as well. List their available treatment options to a person with HIV/AIDS. Let's go and have a look at that. Go and look at FTREATMENT. Let's have a look. Okay, so treatment, we need to give the right treatment, care, and support services. Okay, so the treatment of people with HIV/AIDS, don't discriminate them, support them, care for them. They're still human beings, and that's a really important part of it. Okay. And they should not be discriminated against. They should not be sidelined. And they don't have to have a test if they don't want to. They cannot be, they have rights. There's some things you can do here. A number of ways you can prevent the spread of HIV/AIDS, peer education, testing, practicing first aid, treatment of sexually transmitted diseases, so on. So there's the answer to that question on that side there. How can you address the stigma around HIV/AIDS? You can stop discrimination, and you can support and care for people with HIV/AIDS. That's what you can do. And we can educate people. Very important. And then lastly, here we're going now. Explain why it's important, because we lose productivity and we have to have downtime. So with our children, the children are the future of our workforce. So if our children have got HIV/AIDS, we're going to lose a sector of our population which can't work or operate in our workforces. Implications of HIV in the industrial subsector. Let's have a look at maybe some implications here. Let's have a look at that. Let's go to 26G26 and have a look at this one here. Implications. Children can be born with HIV. Breastfeeding is positive. How to protect your children. Educate them safe sex. Protect your children from child abuse, telling them of possible dangers. Nobody's allowed to touch their private parts. Teach your children nothing so bad that you can't talk about it. Be open with your children who want to tell you what's going on. How to care. There's the caring. Feed and fresh food. Make your home safe for your child. Make your child immunized, and give your child lots of love. Okay, so there's the answer to that question there. And when it comes to the subsector, we lose productivity because people fall sick, they have downtime, and they're less capable of doing their tasks. What is the effect of HIV on the workforce and family home? Let's have a look there. There's the family. That's the family side of it here. What you've got to do, they've got to go to hospital and mustn't share razor blades and toothbrushes. Okay, so have a look at this section here. All right. That's that one there. What are the effects of HIV for an organization? For an organization, there is loss of downtime and loss of productivity and the need to care and allow time off for individuals with HIV to go to clinics, etc. Okay. And then lastly, you've got some true or false questions. You need to answer these by looking through the learner guide. There's just a few of them, and answer those. And then you'll be given feedback. Don't forget to sign in this section here with your black pen. Date it when you did the workbook, and you'll be given feedback. If you have any questions, please consult Rion and just acknowledge when he's going to collect these books from you. I thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you next time for the summative assignment. Cheerio.